Morning, gore, evening, grace, brethren and sisters. Great to have everybody back along with us here with a Black Bear Temperance. And today we're just going to continue what we had last session. Just going to be looking at some more wholesome activities, some good things here to do to, excuse me, to replace tobacco. And we'll kind of just go back here and look at the things that we mentioned and going to delve deeper into these things and give people more of an idea, because we're really stressing here how important it is to find a hobby to replace tobacco, because that is just extremely, extremely important. So like what we kind of saying, I know now may not be talking about directly, kind of like about the bad effects of tobacco physically or socially, but it is extremely important, though, to fulfill your life with something much more wholesome, and that is the approach that we take, because it's just been proven, you know, by stats and all, that that people who lead a more wholesome life are much more prone, you know, to not relapse and go back into like an addiction. And so like last time we looked at learning a new language, maybe like doing graphic design, web design, learning a musical instrument, like reading, and we'll look at a variety of different things here, like in academia and habits and so forth. And then of course some more physical activities, hiking and fishing. And we're only going to get through about the first half of this today. Also our next session we'll delve deeper like into some more good hobbies to look into to replace tobacco. And so starting there with graphic design and web design, looking more about that, you can make a website for a variety of things. And you know, that can be like another one of these interests that you pick up. That could be your family, like for your, just a general website, maybe for your family. Tell about you, your spouse, your children, how you and your spouse met, things your children are doing, or like maybe even a blog, like we're going to look here, some different kind of websites you can do. Or that could just be a blog, you know, where you just write in, what's going on. You know, that's a good way for your other relatives and friends and so forth, you know, just know what's going on, you know, in your life. Or like we mentioned that, you know, your interest, like things that we mentioned here, you know, that could be, you know, you hiking, fishing, things you're studying, you know, things you're reading, science, animals, you know, etc., traveling, trips you take. Now that certainly could be, you know, for your church as well. You know, that's a great thing to do, help out with your church's website, or maybe start one, you know, start a good website for your church. That's something that you're interested in. Of course, you know, talk with your pastor and so forth about that. Or that could certainly be about your story with tobacco. You know, your story about how, you know, you have put tobacco down, you know, helping other people with their addiction. Or that could be like about, you know, your story in general, you know, your life in general, what's going on with you personally. You know, like I know people have different personalities. Some people are more private, some people are more public. But, you know, maybe like having a blog or a website, you know, talking maybe about like some of the struggles and all, you know, that you have. You know, that's things, you know, that you can mention. Helping other people, you know, have a good marriage. Like helping other people, you know, like with their children, you know, sharing some of your experiences here. And like I said, you can start, for starters, I would like to say, you can start like a blog. You can certainly start blogs for free. You can use different websites, like different website companies, all for free, like Wix and Squarespace. Now there are a number of other ones in this day and time. That list just gets longer and longer. And then some of the different websites that you may have to pay a little something for, but you know, their like interface and everything can be a little bit bigger. Like there's what they call a single page website. That's where everything is just on one page. You know, you're limitless as you go down. That's usually a very low cost. Or there's like a dynamic website that costs a little more because it is more dynamic, i.e. the name. Users can interact kind of with the material a bit more whenever you do that. Then there's a responsive design that changes the layout and the display like of information and things on your web page depending on the size of the browser, like if that's on a mobile device, you know, a computer, you know, a laptop, what size of laptop, you know, fit cell phone, tablet, etc. And then there's liquid design. It's called liquid because that can shrink or stretch the website to fit the size of your browser. Once again, like if you're using a tablet, a phone, an iPad, a computer size laptop, desktop, etc. And then there's fixed design that creates a website that doesn't change no matter the size, like of the window or screen. Fixed design, those websites are usually cheaper because of that. Then kind of continuing on here are the things that you can do, like we mentioned, play a musical instrument. There's certainly like the guitar, different aspects of the guitar, like an acoustic guitar or a bass guitar you can play. So learn to play the piano. Then you have your stringed instruments like the violin, the viola, the upright bass, or the harp. And then there's like wind instruments, the flute, horn, the trumpet, the trombone, the tuba, the clarinet. Of course, those are just a few things there that you might be interested in, some ideas and things to go around. And just, we kind of did say that's at the beginning of this session, but like we often say, you have a journal that you keep. And as I always say, I kind of give people a good bit of leeway, like about the journal, that you keep, because the things, if you do it your way, you're much more prone to be successful, much more prone to have a good journal. But I do encourage you, though, to write some of these things down that might interest you as well, that we're going over. And then, of course, reading, and we'll discuss, some of these different academic areas and different kinds of different books and so forth. And then we'll be through here with this session. First, simply kicking off things there, of course, we're faith-based. Of course, like Christian. Of course, Christian, though, that is a very, very even broad topic. Even if you want to talk Christian, slash religion. Like you have Bible commentaries, Bible dictionaries, and those are things that I greatly encourage you to do, as a Christian, at least, have that to be a part of your life, as you walk with God, is extremely important. I'm not going to preach a sermon about this now, but it's certainly very, very important, though, to be a student of the Bible. That is a life-changing activity. And if you begin studying the Bible, not just reading the Bible, but studying the Bible, like with Bible commentaries, Bible dictionaries, a Strong's Concordance. But like if you use like Bible commentaries, to read the meaning of verses. Of course, anything done by a man, yes, is fallible. Nothing takes place of the Bible. But, that is a gift, though, that God has given people, like, the way God has, given me that gift. There certainly are ministry-gifted men whom the Lord, has blessed, in that area, to study and so forth and to write. And, use Bible commentaries, like Bible dictionaries, look up, places in the Bible, the geography of the Bible, find out where places are, learn biblical culture, and, so forth. That is a life-changing experience. Or like do word studies, like we mentioned, a Strong's Concordance, that's also kind of three things there that you're going to want as a student of the Bible: a Bible commentary, a Bible dictionary, and a Strong's Concordance. To look up words in the Bible, do your cross-references there. Like we mentioned, that could be like cities, towns, geographical areas mentioned in the Bible. Something that's just familiar, like with more familiar, like with Bible culture, of that time, maybe things that we don't use now. Learn those things. Or like with word studies, just looking up, the word love. Look up the word love in the Bible. That's a great study to do. The different context, that where the word love, is used. And I got what I just mentioned there. I got these things mentioned in my notes. Like learning about, Bible culture, Bible places, biblical languages. Like we mentioned, they're learning foreign languages. A biblical language, that might be something that you're interested in, and that's once again also that's a great help. Even if you're not learning a biblical language, that can also be a great thing to do. Like if you have a Bible dictionary, like with the Hebrew and the Greek language, like look up the meanings of words, like in Hebrew for the Old Testament or Greek in the New Testament. And then also like people groups. people groups in the Bible. The different people groups, that were mentioned in the Bible. Study about those, like the Edomites, the Moabites, etc. Of course, also like Bible doctrine. Bible doctrine. If you are a believer, that's certainly something you should be studying anyway. But, some people might want to take their study of that further, like enroll in a Bible institute. Enroll in a Bible institute, maybe. Like some of those you don't even have to pay for. Of course, I'm pointing at myself because I have a cost-free, tuition-free Bible institute, like most of you are aware of if you follow me in my ministry. But there are lots of things, lots of like even free, Bible institutes. Like even if you don't want to get a Bible diploma or a Bible degree, of like any kind, that might be something to go further at. But either way, as a believer, at least be studying that to some extent. Of course, you don't have to enroll in like a Bible institute or anything to learn more Bible doctrine. Just go, get the books, do the studying, talk with your pastor. Of course, I'm always here for people to talk to. So talk to the pastor, like of your local church and things, that he would recommend books and so forth. Why we believe what we believe. So listen to some good preaching. Listen to good Bible preaching. Like there's a lot of that on YouTube. I know there are unfortunately, a lot of false teachers, like on YouTube and, the internet and so forth. But there's also some good stuff out there. Like there's the website Sermon Audio. You can listen to some good people there. Of course, also books about Christian living. Those are also some books that all believers, should be kind of, should be expounding on a little bit there. About, how to live a victorious, Christian life, maybe some more devotional, type books. Of course, also books about marriage and raising children, things about that nature. Kind of going right along with that, like with discipleship, like being a good financial steward. That's certainly something really good to study with somebody trying to break an addiction. Like why, we don't give ourselves, under the power of anything else, like other than God. But like I mentioned there, things about, how to be a good, like financial steward, kind of using your time wisely, like what we kind of talking about here. Using your time wisely, as a human being, spending the appropriate time, studying the Bible, praying, being faithful, to church activities. Spending the appropriate time, like with your spouse, if you're married, with your children, and so forth, being a good disciple. And then, of course, there's also, like, Christian fiction, and we'll kind of delve a little bit deeper, like, into other, like, just secular, general fiction, next time, and kind of discuss, picking up next time a little bit about other academic areas. Going to delve into that a little bit more. But there is also the Christian fiction, which is a good way to go as a believer, because a lot of secular fiction books, I don't endorse very many secular fiction books at all, especially people that are living now who are putting out books, because most of those books are filled with things that go against the character of being a believer. They're usually filled with things like fornication, profanity, and, things of that nature. But Christian fiction, for, those are things that a lot of people do enjoy. That's, very popular right now. And then, of course, like simply also world religions, like comparative, world religions, comparative religions, like looking at the different religious bodies in the world as well, like Roman Catholics, Protestant, Orthodox, Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses, then, Muslims, Buddhists, Hindus, Jews, Judaism, Zoroastrianism, the Sikh religion, like etc. That might be something that that sparks your interest, learning there about the different religions and their culture. And then kind of lastly here, like mentioned, debates. That's something that I also now enjoy. Something I did a little bit before, especially like when I started the master's degree program. For my Bible college seminary. I also watched like a lot of debates about some of these atheistic philosophers like Christopher Hitchens, Sam Harris, Richard Dawkins, etc. Like they would debate like other preachers, like who are world religion scholars or theologians, like about the existence of God, is religion really moral, things of that nature. And of course, a good thing about those things, you can kind of be entertained and also learn something. you know, for a lot of people interested in that, and you could certainly learn a lot, like whenever you listen to those debates, and kind of also be entertained at the same time. And so these are just some things that we'll go over here for this session here. And like I said, we'll kind of talk about some other hobbies to use to replace tobacco in your life. Like we'll kind of pick up there and talk about some other areas of academia, like that you might be interested just in reading about, like looking at geography, different cultures, you know, traveling, etc. Then we'll go into some more physical activities like hiking, you know, and hiking, fishing, and so forth next time. So come on back and be with us. As I said, we're always here if anybody needs any help, has any questions or anything. Thanks so much for being with us here today, and we'll see you next time. Until the day and the shadows flee away, I'm Dr. Cooper, and I love you, and I appreciate you.